Hello and welcome to iExplores. I'm your host Ian, and if you like my videos please like and subscribe. So on with the video. So today I'm going to take a really big look around Cleethorpes, more in-depth history and everything else. I'm just going to turn the camera around because it's really windy today. Look at this, the waves coming in there. Okay, so today we're starting off in Cleethorpes, and just there is St Peter's Hall. Now that used to be a school according to the old maps. So we're going to walk behind me in a minute and I'll show you where roughly, because down here there was a windmill, thus Mill Place. So looking on this side, there looks like an old building just there as well. Okay, so let's go and have a look further down that way. This shortcut ran all the way from Cambridge Road all the way to the marketplace. Now I don't know if it still carries on and goes right through, but this is where I am now, like I was just saying. Yeah, it does carry on. It carries on across the road straight down there, so that's where we're going to go. So like I was saying, there was a windmill down here, and it was used for grinding corn. So obviously there'd be lots of fields in that round here back then in 1888, 1887. And obviously the seaside started to develop as well. And we'll take a look at that later on, so let's move on. I'm gonna go across the road in a minute and carry on down into Mill Place. So let's get across Albert Road and carry on down there. Okay, so I've now come down to Mill Place. You can see the sign up there. So now we're going to walk down here, okay, which is heading towards the marketplace. And it actually does come out to the marketplace, so they've basically kept it here, which is really good. So we're going to carry on up towards the marketplace now. Okay, so now coming up to the marketplace, it does run all the way from there still, which is really good. I'll point the camera around in front now, as you can see, it arrows again. So I've now come down Alexandra Road now. Now in front of me, there used to be the Oriana Hotel and Restaurant, which I'll turn the camera around now, which used to be here, where that fez is there. Now there's a window there, I shall do a close-up on this in a minute, it actually lines up with the photo I've got. And the entrance to it was where we go into that place over the road there. So I'll do a close-up on that and show you. Yeah, this is it, the Oriana Hotel and Restaurant. And this is called the Knoll, this place there, and it was built in 1898. So I'll have a look round the front there. We'll keep going round a bit. As you can see, I'll take you all the way around. There we go, and there's the front of it. Really nice building still there, nice to see. Yeah, and like I said, it was called the Knoll, and obviously that street down there is Knoll Street. Nice to see an old building still there, so let's move on. Okay, so I'm now standing on New Street. Now this window here, I'm going to show you another one later on, was known as a vertical box sash, and it's still there. Notice that the old door's still there as well. I'm going to show you another one in a minute. So yeah, let's go and have a look at that. On Seaview Street. Now number 16 here is said to be, what the sign's up there, the oldest shop. I don't know if you can see that up there. Sign that says the early 1800s. Okay, and it is on the Heritage Trail, so that's where I'm stood at the moment, really a very long time. So let's move on. I'm stood on Wardall Street. I've been down here before, and this used to be a makeshift hospital back then. Obviously during the cholera epidemic as well, as you can see from there. And up there is another window, that black one, up there, and that was known as a Yorkshire sliding sash window. So you can see up there. Okay, so obviously this is what this was. I'll move back a bit so you can see the building a bit better. There we go, so let's move on. Okay, so I've now come up to a place called Icliff Terrace, which is that group of houses across the road there. Now it matches the old picture I've got very nicely. The bit up there with the round window, that's still there. And obviously the doorways are as well, so it's fairly intact. There was a tree on the end of there, but obviously that's gone. So yeah, I'll do some close-ups on this one. So Icliff Terrace has been looking at also had basements, as you can see down there. So you could say it was 3 stories, it isn't, because they're basements. They've all got them all the way along, as you can see. I'm now walking up to the site where the Winter Gardens was. Now it started off, or planned to be, an amusement hall, but it was later changed, obviously, and it was built as an art deco style. And it opened in 1934 as the Olympia, and this is where it is now. Okay, so after it was refurbished in 1947, obviously reopened back again, but it changed its name to the Winter Gardens, and it was sadly demolished in 2007, and obviously this is what's in its place. So there you go, so let's move on. Comes to the leisure centre. Used to be the site of the old bathing pool, which I have done on a video in the past. I'll turn the camera around, and over there there's some old time dancing going on, so it's decades of music or something on a banner. Okay, so at this point here where I am now, this is where the first miniature railway started. Obviously there's one still there now which runs up and down towards the signal box there, which I've done on another video, and it started round about where I am now in 1948. Now I'm going to walk down to where it went in a minute. Okay, let's go and have a look. Okay, so I'm now walking down the actual track where it was. That's obviously now this is a walkway, and you can go down here on your bike as well. So I'm going to point the camera to the floor, and we'll follow it round. It goes all the way around here. The leisure centre being up there, and we're down here. Now there's only 2 stations to it. The one where I just stood, and the one further on round here, and I'll show you exactly where it stopped before it obviously changed to the position where it was now. So let's keep going. Okay, so we'll come round to where the current station is now. Now the station I was talking about, I'll walk to it now. It's not that far in front of me, but that's where you get on. That goes quite a long way up. So the first one just came basically around the back of the leisure centre and round where I am now. So I'll show you exactly where it stopped. Okay, so I'm walking up to where this train finished. It did only last a year. That's all it was. It's basically just for 1 year, this little bit of track that ran to about here, where this bridge goes over the current railway track now, or the light railway. So yeah, this ended fairly early, and that one was built in the same year as well, which is currently still there. So okay, let's move on. Okay, so I'm currently stood on Cambridge Street. Okay, so I've got a picture in my hand right now with some thatched cottages on it, and across the road there, as you can see, is the town hall built in 1904. Now the picture I've got is roughly taken from here, because through there, you might be able to see it, I will zoom in on it, there's an house that actually matches the picture. So that means that the thatched cottages was on the left-hand side where I'm pointing the camera now, but I will do a close-up on it. But yeah, you can't believe it, can you? Thatched cottages down here. And it says circa 1880. So we've come up to the Dolphin. Falling home, there's a Dolphin Hotel. It's now a nightclub. Okay, so the Dolphin was built in 1760, but it wasn't called the Dolphin. It was called the Georgian Hotel, which I'll turn the camera around, and I will do close-ups on this later. Okay, as you can see, it stretches all the way down to there. Okay, so when it got refurbished, it was then renamed the Dolphin, after it was all refurbished inside and everything else. So we're coming up to the roundabout. I'm going to show you where there was a fountain. Just come down to the roundabout now. You see the Dolphin is over there. Now this fountain was roughly down there. See where the road changes colour? It was roughly down there. And what happened to it was demolished by a tram in 1902. It crashed into it. Yeah, and it was demolished, and they never actually put it back. So that's what happened to that. So I've come down to Wonderland now. I've been up here before and done a video, but I've recently found out a lot more things. Okay, it first opened, it's very windy, it first opened in Easter 1926, and obviously it's been many things in its time. I'll tell you about that in a bit more detail. Okay, so this area here used to be where the Mad Mouse was. Okay, there's been lots of things down here, so I'm going to move along and I'll tell you a bit more about that as well. So Wonderland was made up of 350 tonnes of steel and 60 tonnes of corrugated iron and 28 tonnes of glass. Like I was saying, it opened in Easter 1926. Okay, so at the side of it, and this was here before, it was called the Dip or the Dips. Obviously people around here know it as the Mad Mouse. And it was actually there in this area before that, which is Wonderland. Okay, and the earliest picture I've got is in 1908, and it was a wooden roller coaster back then. A lot of things going on in this area. So you've got the Mad Mouse there, which was a wooden roller coaster. Obviously your Wonderland with its rides and amusements in there, and a lot more, which I'll tell you about. And then you've got your pleasure flights on the beach. There's a lot went on up this end, so let's go a bit further. Okay, so inside Wonderland, what was there in there? Obviously you got the Big Dipper, as I mentioned. You also have the water dodgems, the monorail, autocar, aeroplane ride, the ghost train, we love them, dodgems, scooter supreme, a monorail, over the top, and speedboats, and a lot more. And obviously I have got a picture of the railway running around there. It's called Lakeside. It was all in there, so you can imagine how busy this area used to be. And now, as you can see, well, sadly, I mean, obviously that was a long time ago. Some of the pictures that I have got was taken in the late 40s, early 50s and 60s and 70s. So we're going to move along a bit. Okay, so the Lakeside Railway ran alongside the Mad Mouse, or the Dippers, which is round about in this area here, which I've just shown you. And if I remember rightly, because I remember seeing the Mad Mouse when I was younger, I think it ended round about here. In this area, that's where you got off it. And it was quite high up. I don't know how high, but it was quite, I think it was taller than the Wonderland itself. But there's like I said, there was a lot going on. So this Lakeside Railway, it looks really good, proper steam engine. You know, all right, a miniature one, but a proper one, just like they have up there today on the light railway. So let's carry on a bit further. Okay, so you can see across the road from there, this is Wonderland, runs all the way down there. And there used to be, I'm going to cross the road, there used to be a big sign, I would say somewhere from about there at the top of where Wonderland is and across the road. It used to say Wonderland on it, used to light up at night. I remember seeing that. So you can see inside there now, that's what it looks like at the minute. It looks like a garage. But you can see the old girders and that up there, and how big this place really was. I can't see a lot really, but yeah, here we go. Hey, so anybody remember the so-called palm tree that was going to put up? And you must have, if any of you've walked down here, and probably thousands if you have, you'll have seen that. Yeah, 100 metres to the, well, the palm tree, but it's not there. They never did it for some known reason. I don't know why. Okay, so also in Wonderland was the gallops, or the horses. That's what they call them, the gallops. For some reason, they used to get on. They used to go up and down. There was one of those in there as well, which I forgot to mention back there, so I have now. So I'm going to have a go down onto the beach, as it is. Like, it must have been a storm overnight. As you can see, lots of stuff has been washed up, and it still is fairly windy. Okay, so I've come down onto the beach now. As it has shown you from the top there, a lot's been washed up, and it did rain last night, and there's been a very high wind as well. But if you look under here, look at this. There's some of them buoys that's usually sat out in the umber there. Wow. Let's get a closer look. You can see the barnacles and that on it. Now, whether or not that got washed up last night, who knows? You might have been there a while, but yeah, they're usually straight out there. There's quite a few of them. So it must have got pulled up. As you can see, it must have been really rough last night. There's a lot of things down here washed up. So look down here, some bits of wood sticking out. It's really good to come down here after storms. You sort of find out different things that, you know, was there, but once the sand goes away from them, they get exposed. Look at these in a line there, look. Wow. Okay, so I've come down to these original steps, which I have done on a video in the past. These that come down, obviously from up there, down onto the beach. You can see there's more exposed. Now, I've never seen them exposed as much as this before. Right down there, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 there. There's probably a lot more down there. But I've got a picture which was taken where I'm basically stood now. I'll turn the camera in a minute. Round about in that direction there. And it also shows you the water chute. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember, but it was there. A bit like a log flue. and it was in where I was just stood now. So basically it was somewhere in this area. So them pieces of wood up there might have been like where it was. I'm not sure, I couldn't say for certain. But to the pier, yes, I have done a video on this before, but I'll say this is a big video, so there we go. Okay, so originally the pier wasn't like it is now. It actually ran across the road up towards the Dolphin up there, and you actually came over the road and you walked under a bridge there and went all the way out there. The original length of it was 1,200 feet long, and it was built between 1872 and 1876. Okay, and it opened on a bank holiday. It doesn't say which bank holiday, but anyway, between 1873 and 1875. And like I said, it was a lot longer than what it was now, due to the fire it had, which I'll explain shortly. So around noon on June the 29th, 1903, pupils of the Buzzer Street School, which is behind me where the camera's pointing, not far away, noticed some smoke pouring out from the back of the pier, which I'm pointing at now. And obviously that burnt down and reduced the size of it. Okay, so what happened then after that, that got reduced in size, and it later got reduced in size again due to fear of the Germans landing on it. So then they reduced it to what it is now, 335 feet long. So yeah, so you can see it was very long at one time, obviously stretching under there, and it was across the road like I mentioned. So yeah, there we go. Oh, and it's now a fish and chip shop today. Yeah, that, Papa's. Okay, so we've come to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed that one, a big tour of Cleethorpes, and I'd like to thank all my new subscribers and for all you watching my content, and much appreciated. And please like and subscribe, and on that note, I'll see you all again on the next video. Bye for now.